In this video, I'm going to show you why Alzheimer's disease is so difficult to treat and what scientists are finally starting to understand about how it develops in the brain. Stay with me until the end because understanding this truth could change how you protect your memory for the years to come. And by the way, I'll leave a special video below in the description and in the first pinned comment that reveals a simple 7-second ritual you can do at home to begin restoring the clarity and memory you once had when you were 20. Imagine for a moment waking up one day and realizing you can't remember the face of someone you love. You can see the eyes, the smile, the warmth, but your mind can't connect the name. That's the cruel reality of Alzheimer's disease and dementia for millions of people around the world. According to the Alzheimer's Association, more than 55 million people globally live with dementia, and nearly 70% of those cases are Alzheimer's disease. It is the most common cause of progressive memory loss, and yet, despite decades of research, there is still no true cure. But why? Why is Alzheimer's disease so difficult to treat, even with all our modern science, technology, and brain research? The answer lies deep inside the human brain, among billions of neurons, microscopic chemical reactions, and fragile connections that make us who we are. Let's start with what happens inside the brain. In a healthy mind, neurons communicate through tiny electrical impulses and chemical messengers. These pathways are what allow you to remember your child's first word, the smell of your favorite meal, or where you left your keys. But in Alzheimer's disease, this communication begins to break down. Proteins that should be cleared away, called amyloid plaques and tau tangles, start to build up like sticky cobwebs between neurons. Over time, these tangled networks block the signals, causing brain fog, confusion, and short-term memory loss that gradually worsen into complete dementia. This is why one of the first signs of dementia or early onset Alzheimer's is short-term memory lapses, forgetting names, misplacing items, or repeating questions. These small cracks in memory are not random. They are the first warning lights of deeper neural damage happening silently beneath the surface. Scientists once thought that if we could simply remove these plaques, we could stop or reverse Alzheimer's. Many drugs were designed to do exactly that. But here's the hard truth. Removing the plaques hasn't stopped the disease. Clinical trials have shown small improvements, but the underlying brain degeneration continues. That's why the treatment of Alzheimer's has been one of the greatest challenges in modern medicine. The brain is not just a machine you can fix by replacing a part. It's a living, dynamic ecosystem of cells, blood flow, and energy. When that system fails, everything else begins to fall apart. In vascular dementia, for example, small blood vessels in the brain become damaged, restricting oxygen and nutrients. In frontotemporal dementia, the frontal lobes, the areas that control personality and decision-making, begin to shrink. And in Lewy body dementia, tiny abnormal proteins disturb the brain's ability to regulate movement and thought, causing vivid hallucinations and confusion. Each of these different types of dementia may look similar on the outside, but deep inside, their biological roots are different. That's one of the key reasons a single cure has been so hard to find. I want you to think about this. Every time you feel that mental fog, that fuzzy head, that moment when your brain feels cloudy after a bad night of sleep, it's a reminder of how delicate your brain chemistry truly is. Brain fog symptoms are your mind's way of saying, I'm not getting what I need. Sometimes it's from lack of sleep, other times from inflammation, poor nutrition, or even emotional stress. These same factors over years can increase the risk of Alzheimer's disease and dementia. And yet the most fascinating discovery in neuroscience today is that the brain has an incredible ability to heal itself when given the right environment. It can rebuild connections, clear away toxins, and even grow new neurons in certain regions, a process called neurogenesis. This gives hope because it means prevention and even partial recovery are possible when we act early. So before we go deeper into what makes Alzheimer's disease treatment so complex, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt that sensation of losing memory little by little? That feeling of walking into a room and forgetting why you came? Leave a comment below and share your experience because you're not alone. And remember, I'll leave that special video below about a simple 7-second ritual you can do right from home to help restore your mental clarity and strengthen your memory. Something that might help you remember the details of your life again, just like you did when you were 20. To truly understand why Alzheimer's disease is so difficult to treat, we first need to recognize that it doesn't start when memory loss becomes noticeable. Alzheimer's begins silently, often decades before the first symptoms appear. Tiny changes happen in the brain, like microinflammations, oxidative stress, and mitochondrial dysfunction, that slowly erode the brain's ability to protect and repair itself. This means by the time someone starts showing early signs of dementia, the disease has already done years of damage beneath the surface. Imagine your brain as a city. The neurons are like houses, and the roads are the connections between them. When the roads are clear, information flows freely. But with Alzheimer's, traffic jams begin forming, slowly, silently. First, small detours appear. That's when you forget a word or misplace your keys. Then, more roads get blocked by amyloid plaques, and bridges collapse under the weight of tau tangles. Eventually, entire neighborhoods go dark. That's when confusion, disorientation, and even changes in personality begin. This progressive, invisible nature of Alzheimer's is one reason treatments often fail. Most medications only target symptoms, not the root cause. By the time someone is diagnosed, many of the neurons responsible for memory and learning, especially in the hippocampus, are already lost. Unlike skin or liver cells, these neurons don't easily regenerate, so doctors are often trying to save what's left rather than rebuild what's gone. There's another reason treatment is so hard. Alzheimer's isn't caused by just one thing. It's not like a single virus or bacteria you can destroy with an antibiotic. It's a multifactorial disease, meaning it can be triggered by many interconnected factors: genetics, inflammation, poor blood flow, oxidative stress, toxin exposure, chronic sleep deprivation, and even long-term nutrient deficiencies. Each of these creates its own type of damage, which eventually accumulates until the brain can't compensate anymore. Take, for example, the role of inflammation. When your body or brain is inflamed for too long because of poor diet, high blood sugar, or chronic stress, it damages the protective barrier that shields your brain. This allows harmful substances to leak in and disrupt your neurons' delicate chemistry. It's one of the major reasons brain fog, fuzzy thinking, and mental fatigue have become so common today. People describe it as a foggy head, a fuzzy brain, or feeling like their thoughts are moving through mud. These brain fog symptoms might seem harmless, but over time they can evolve into something more serious, especially when combined with lack of sleep and high sugar intake. That's why some experts now call Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes, because of how closely it's linked to insulin resistance in the brain. When your brain cells can't use glucose effectively, they start to starve, leading to degeneration. This is why simple lifestyle changes, like reducing processed sugars, managing stress, and improving sleep, are now seen as early dementia treatments in functional medicine. One powerful discovery in recent years is that sleep plays a massive role in preventing Alzheimer's. During deep sleep, your brain's cleaning system, called the glymphatic system, becomes highly active, washing away toxins, amyloid plaques, and waste products that build up during the day. When people consistently get poor sleep, that cleansing process doesn't happen efficiently, leading to more buildup and higher risk of dementia. This is why brain fog from lack of sleep isn't just about feeling tired. It's your brain's way of warning you that it hasn't had time to heal. But here's something hopeful. While we still can't completely cure Alzheimer's disease, we can slow it down, and in some cases, improve brain function significantly. Studies on neuroplasticity and brain rehabilitation have shown that when you stimulate the brain through learning, physical exercise, and proper nutrition, it starts forming new neural pathways. That means even if some areas are damaged, Others can adapt and take over certain functions. It's like your brain learning to reroute traffic around the blocked roads in our earlier metaphor. This is where early action becomes critical. Recognizing the first signs of dementia, like short-term memory loss, mental fog, difficulty finding words, or confusion about time and place, can make all the difference. The earlier you intervene with proper habits, nutrition, and mental stimulation, the more neurons you can protect from irreversible damage. And here's a small but important truth. What's good for your heart is also good for your brain. A diet rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and fiber helps improve blood flow to the brain, protecting it from the same vascular damage that causes vascular dementia. Exercise increases oxygen delivery and stimulates the growth of new brain cells. Even small things like walking 30 minutes a day or doing a puzzle can dramatically reduce your risk over time. So when people ask, is there a cure for Alzheimer's? I always say, not yet, but there is hope. Hope in prevention, hope in slowing progression, and hope in reawakening the brain's natural resilience. If you've ever felt that brain fog or those short-term memory lapses that make you question your sharpness, don't ignore them. Your brain is asking for help, and giving it the right conditions can transform your future. And if you want to know a surprisingly simple daily ritual that could help restore your memory and mental clarity, I'll leave that special video in the description and first comment. It's a 7-second practice you can do from home, something that many people say helped them start thinking more clearly again, just like when they were 20. Now let's go even deeper into what makes Alzheimer's disease such a complex puzzle for scientists and doctors around the world. One of the most frustrating things about this condition is that it doesn't follow the same pattern for everyone. Two people can have the same amount of amyloid plaques or tau tangles in their brain, yet one might be deeply affected while the other shows almost no symptoms at all. This inconsistency has forced researchers to look beyond the plaques themselves and explore other hidden causes: inflammation, blood flow, gut health, immune response, even emotional trauma. You see, the brain isn't isolated from the rest of the body. It's connected to every system: digestive, circulatory, hormonal, and immune. When one of those systems becomes imbalanced, the brain feels it. For example, studies show that people with chronic gut inflammation or poor gut bacteria diversity have a much higher risk of Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. This is because harmful bacteria can release toxins that reach the brain and trigger inflammation, leading to what scientists now call the gut-brain axis. This connection helps explain why many people with Alzheimer's also suffer from digestive problems, poor nutrient absorption, and even changes in appetite long before memory loss begins. When the gut is unhealthy, the brain struggles to receive the building blocks it needs to repair and protect itself. Omega-3s, vitamin B12, antioxidants, all essential for brain repair, become less effective if your gut can't absorb them properly. It's also why lifestyle factors like diet, sleep, and exercise are now seen as powerful tools for prevention. They might sound simple, but their impact on dementia and memory loss diseases is profound. For example, research shows that people who follow a Mediterranean-style diet, rich in olive oil, fish, vegetables, and nuts, have a significantly lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease or vascular dementia. These foods reduce inflammation, protect blood vessels, and provide the brain with the fatty acids it needs to build strong cell membranes. Now let's talk about something that many people overlook: emotional health. Chronic stress and unresolved trauma release high levels of cortisol, a stress hormone that damages neurons in the hippocampus, the very part of the brain responsible for memory and learning. That's why people who live under constant emotional strain often experience brain fog, fuzzy thinking, and short-term memory loss. Over time, this can accelerate cognitive decline and even mimic early signs of dementia. This emotional side is rarely discussed in traditional medicine, but it's one of the keys to understanding why Alzheimer's treatments have struggled to work. Medicine can target the physical symptoms, but healing the brain fully requires calming the emotional storms that keep it inflamed. Meditation, mindfulness, time in nature, and healthy social connections can reduce the toxic stress that silently eats away at memory. Another piece of the puzzle is oxygen. The brain consumes about 20% of the oxygen in your entire body, but with age, circulation decreases, and the brain receives less of what it needs. This can lead to vascular dementia, where lack of blood flow slowly damages the brain's wiring. Exercise, deep breathing, and staying hydrated can make a surprisingly big difference. Even small movements like walking or stretching help pump oxygen and nutrients into your neurons. And yet, despite all these insights, there's one more reason Alzheimer's is so hard to treat. Once neurons die, they can't easily be replaced. Unlike skin or muscle cells, the neurons that form your memories are mostly irreplaceable. That's why prevention, protecting what you already have, is more powerful than any pill. Modern medicine can slow the disease's progress, but rarely reverse it. However, when people combine medical treatment with lifestyle changes, brain training, and emotional healing, something remarkable happens. They start to regain moments of clarity, flashes of old memories, even a sense of calm and control that seemed lost. Think of your brain as a garden. If you ignore it, weeds grow, inflammation, toxins, stress. But if you nurture it, water it, feed it, it comes alive again. Neurons start to reconnect, signals flow smoothly, and even old memories can resurface. That's neuroplasticity, the brain's miraculous ability to adapt and rebuild itself, even after years of damage. And that's why so many people who once struggled with brain fog, confusion, or lack of memory begin to notice a difference when they take daily actions to heal. They report being able to focus again, think clearly, and remember small details, like where they parked or the name of someone they just met. These might seem like small victories, but they mean everything to someone who thought their memory was gone for good. So if you're watching this and you've been feeling those early signs, the short-term memory lapses, the mental fog, the confusion that comes and goes, please take it as a message from your body. Your brain is still fighting for you. It's not too late to help it recover, to clear that fog, to feel alive again. And if you'd like to know one surprisingly easy way to support your brain, a ritual you can do at home that takes only 7 seconds, I'll leave that special video below. It's simple, safe, and designed to help you recover the sharpness you had when you were 20. Many people have already started to feel that spark return just days after trying it. When we think about Alzheimer's disease, it's easy to feel powerless. The thought of slowly losing your memories, your personality, even the ability to recognize the people you love can feel overwhelming. But I want you to know something deeply important. You are not powerless. The future of your brain is still being written every single day by the choices you make, the foods you eat, the thoughts you nurture, and the love you share. We've learned that Alzheimer's disease is not caused by one single event, but by years of small imbalances that slowly weaken the brain. Chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, poor circulation, and toxic overload, they build up quietly. But here's the beautiful truth. Just as the brain can be damaged over time, it can also be healed over time. Every moment you choose to eat cleaner, move more, sleep better, and calm your mind, you are reversing part of that damage. Your neurons crave oxygen, nutrients, and calm. When you feed them with movement, with fresh foods, and with peace, they begin to fire again. The fog starts to lift. And that's when people begin to say things like, "I feel like myself again." This is not a miracle. It's biology working the way it was designed to. Now imagine your life 5 or 10 years from now if you begin protecting your brain today. Imagine waking up in the morning with mental clarity, remembering small details like what you planned for breakfast or where you left your glasses, things that once slipped your mind. Imagine looking at old family photos and not just recognizing the faces, but remembering the stories, the laughter, the little moments that made life beautiful. That's the kind of transformation that's possible when you take control of your brain health. You begin to move away from the fear of dementia, Alzheimer's, or amnesia, and closer to a sense of calm confidence that your mind is working with you, not against you. You start to think clearly again. Your conversations flow naturally and your days feel lighter. And that's why the future of Alzheimer's treatment will not just be about drugs. It will be about lifestyle, prevention, and empowerment. It will be about teaching people to care for their brains the same way they care for their hearts. Because truthfully, Alzheimer's is as much about the body as it is about the mind. What's good for one is good for the other. The people who make the biggest improvements are not necessarily those with the newest medication, but those who build small, consistent habits that the brain loves. They keep moving, learning, sleeping, laughing, connecting. They treat each day like a new opportunity to water that garden inside their head. They learn how to calm inflammation naturally, manage stress, balance their blood sugar, and fill their lives with meaning and curiosity again. And that brings me to something I want you to truly take to heart. Memory loss is not just about forgetting. It's about disconnection from others, from life, from yourself. When you start working on your brain health, you're not just regaining memory, you're rebuilding connection. You begin to recognize yourself again, and that feeling, that's freedom. So here's what I want you to do next. I'm going to leave a very special video right below this one in the description and in the first comment pinned below. In that video, I'll show you a simple 7-second ritual that you can do right from home to help restore your memory and mental clarity. It's completely natural, and it's designed to help you recover the sharpness you had when you were 20. If this video helped you understand a bit more about Alzheimer's, dementia, and how your brain truly works, then I'd love for you to stay connected with me. Subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon so you don't miss future videos, and share this with someone you care about, especially someone who has been noticing signs of brain fog, short-term memory loss, or confusion. Because the truth is, so many people suffer in silence, thinking it's just aging, when in reality, there's so much we can do to slow it down or even reverse it. And before you go, take a deep breath and remind yourself, your brain is still alive, still learning, still capable of growth. No matter your age, it's never too late to strengthen it, protect it, and bring back the spark that makes you who you are. The human mind is one of the most resilient creations on earth. And if you give it care, it will give you back everything. Your focus, your peace, your memories, your joy. So click the video below to learn that 7-second ritual that has already helped thousands of people regain their clarity and sense of self. You deserve to remember everything that makes your life beautiful.